And away we go. Nightcap time here on Bearcat. Ooh. Wow. That didn't go well. Nightcap time here on BearcatJournal.com. Apparently, my body decided I needed to swallow while I was talking. Brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken. Why did that happen? Probably because just the sight of the Galactic Fried Chicken logo makes my mouth water. The thought of chicken tendies, sauce, fries, just make me go, and it threw me off for the intro. That's what happens. Had a friend, BCJ, longtime member, stopped by Galactic today. He and his wife, they each went 3 tendies. They bought 6 tendies for 2 people. They went home with 3.
Sounds about right.
Yep. Said the fries were great. Said they loved everything about the experience. Everything was delicious. And the 2 of them for 6 tendies, that's not a fair fight. Unless you're Jeff Howell, Mr. Macho Man, who I don't believe he ate all 3 of those tendies. I need video. I need video pics, or it didn't happen.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
So
I don't know, man.
www.galacticfriedchicken.com to download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Let's get to it. We're winding down day 4 of the NCAA tournament. I was looking at the bracket before we got this started. I would say a pretty good first 4 days of the tournament. The only thing that drives me crazy about college basketball, man.
This should be good.
Every time there's a poorly officiated game, there's a name that is responsible. There's a Pat Adams, there's a John Higgins, there's a Terry Oglesby. Like I don't understand. Like when we're told we grade these officials, and these officials are held to a high standard. Did you see the technical in the Illinois game for the hanging on the rim?
For the hanging on the rim? That was terrible.
You should be fired.
What else was he supposed to do?
Get the out.
I mean, Reggie Miller said it. Like, if he lets go, he's either going to
swings into the stanchion.
He's either going to hit his head on the backboard, or he's going to swing into the whole apparatus that holds the damn thing up.
He didn't show anybody up. He didn't taunt or gloat. He let go of the rim and he started running back down the floor.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, the Baylor North Carolina game.
Like, you went back and looked? Who officiated?
I mean, I checked out some of like the stuff that happened apparently like in the second half as the gap was closing and the calls all went one way. Like,
yes.
And it's always somebody we know. And we are always told, why are these the guys that are responsible for working the big games? And you know the answer? They grade out better than everyone else. Your grading system sucks.
Who else? Because I feel like it's been the same referees for our entire lifetimes. All of us. Everyone.
Well, there's a couple that are but like Bo Borowski was talked about, Oglesby, Higgins, Pat Adams. Like, it's always the same names that are responsible for this. And every year we're told, well, these are the best guys. What are we supposed to do?
The funny part,
best guys.
The funny part's listening to Gene Skeletor. I mean,
don't talk bad about Gene Steratore.
So
I will do no Gene Steratore slander.
I just like to call him Gene Skeletor. But
okay. He used to do
NFL,
the Big East, and the NFL. Like, I love me some Gene Steratore.
So
super nice guy.
He actually goes against pretty much every call that happened.
Yeah.
In any game this weekend.
Because he's a good official. Why is Gene Steratore doing TV instead of calling these basketball games? Of course. Those other clowns couldn't sit in a booth and make $3 an hour. So, of course, they go make, what, $10,000 a game during the NCAA tournament, and they stink? It ruins the experience. It's so bad. So bad.
It felt like at one point during the Baylor-North Carolina game yesterday that they literally were just calling a foul every possession defensively on North Carolina or offensively on North Carolina for like a good 10 minutes.
It ruins the game. It's already like you're already dealing with 19 to 22-year-olds that aren't in their prime. They're not at their best. It's not an overly aesthetically pleasing game to begin with. And then you have these chump refs that make it almost impossible to watch.
Well, and with the legalization of gambling everywhere, it's hard for people not to wonder.
Did you see the end of Notre Dame?
Yeah, just a couple moments ago.
Yeah. So the
line got clobbered in the face twice.
The line was 8, right? And the score was at 6. And there's an inbound, and Notre Dame tries to foul like 2.5 times.
Right at the very end? Like
right at the very end. Yeah. Like right.
Yeah. He's literally on him. He gave up because he's like, they're not calling this.
Notre Dame is dying to extend the game.
Yeah, because there's like 9 seconds left or something.
Yeah, there's 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
Like initially, like you're like, what just happened? Why did Notre Dame give up? Well, they didn't give up. They fouled Texas Tech 3 times.
Should have
and the officials just refused to call it.
Just spear them.
That makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. The line was 8. If Texas Tech goes to the line, bangs 2 free throws, that's a push game, or all of a sudden you just don't call it. You let Texas Tech run out 9.5 seconds. The game ends at 6, and the bet is what it is. Here's the problem. The NCAA is allowing their officials to bring that doubt into the conversation.
Because it's terrible. And again, I think this all gets fixed if you have an academy where you have people work through the referee academy.
No, that doesn't fix it.
It would be better, and you would have more refs.
I don't know what it would be. There's plenty of refs. The problem is the same shitty ones keep getting all the big assignments, so that the younger ones don't ever have a chance. That might be good. Maybe they're good. Maybe they're better. We never know because we have to watch the same dudes every year call this tournament. And every year we're talking about the same dudes making questionable calls that undermine the actual result on the floor. I hate it. I didn't mean to do 6 minutes on this. But it's such an impact on being able to watch the games. It's like, when I talk about it during the season and people are like, shut up, Chad, that's not why UC lost. I've never once said UC lost because of officiating. SMU, I implied it, maybe, the game at SMU.
Yeah.
But I've never once been like, this is why they lost. But if the people watching don't talk about it, then it doesn't get the attention it deserves. That these dudes are making $25,000 a week, making $20,000 to $25,000 a week.
Dad calls.
Terrible at their job. Yep. I screwed up. I should have been an official. I could have been a fat guy running from 3-point line to 3-point line, blowing bad whistles and not knowing the damn rules of the game and making $25,000 a week for 6 months.
There's still time. There's still time for you. Go live your dream.
Yeah,
go live your dream.
Absolutely unbelievable. We did want to give some shine. The initial point of this show, we're going to give some shine to some of the non-revenue sports at UC. One, baseball, huge win today.
18-9.
They bounced back. They got off the mat. over the last 2 days. They won 3 in a row, swept a doubleheader yesterday, won again today to kind of stop the bleeding, if you will. They had a disastrous road trip. They lost their first game of the homestand. Things weren't looking great for Coach Googs and his squad, but over the weekend, over Saturday and Sunday, they did bounce back. The pitching performed better, and the bats woke up. Maybe they put some hats on them. Hats for bats. Keep bats warm. And good for the baseball squad to get rolling again.
Yeah, I mean, they take 3 or 4 from St. John's U. Congrats on that. They also had 2 guys.
St. Joe's, right? Not St. John's. St. John's?
Now you have
St. Joe's.
St. Joseph's, you're right. St. Joseph's.
We can't get our saints. We can't get our saints wrong.
There's too many saints. I'm not Catholic. 2 guys with 4 hits each. They were, I just had it here. Griffin Merritt and Cole Harding. Both of those guys actually also had home runs. So they definitely put it together there. You love seeing, 2 games in a row where they've scored double digits, 30 runs in 2 games. Congrats.
And then golf, a little hole-in-one action.
There was hole-in-one action.
Squad.
It was yesterday. They did finish 7th in the tournament they were playing in down in Georgia. But they did have Clay Amlung actually had a hole-in-one yesterday.
And then, 11 wins in a row for women's tennis, 11 match wins in a row for women's tennis. So a good spring break for some of the non-revenue spring sports. Always good to see. And then in a non-sport, Aaron, Nippert Stadium.
Nippert Stadium.
Champion. We did it, guys. We did it together. This was something that our guy Stu Gilchrist kind of dragged me into every round. He would tag me and be like, hey, Nippert Stadium, paper stadium. So the guy that runs it, made, I don't know if it's paper mache or folded paper, whatever. He made replicas of all the great stadiums around the country. And Nippert Stadium was one of them. It beat out Madison Square Garden in the championship. And Fenway Park was the semifinals?
I believe so, yeah.
And Dodger Stadium was in there somewhere. We kicked ass as a fan base to make Nippert Stadium the paper stadium champion, and I'm proud of us. I'm really proud of us. It's good work, Aaron. Did you vote every time?
I did, or at least in the last 2. I think the last 3.
All right. Well, we're almost back to spring football. We need to get back to spring football. It's been missing in my life. We're back on Tuesday morning. So look for a practice report Tuesday, player interviews, Coach Fick. Thursday, we have spring football and pro day.
Nice.
You gonna drive back from Athens to take that in, or?
I'm gonna be making a trip back and forth tomorrow to go get the big furniture and rent a U-Haul. So probably not.
Okay. Well, I think Dave is hoping to be there on Thursday. We'll probably do BCJ pod Thursday night since we'll have that going on during the day.
Yeah.
And it'll give us plenty to talk about. Waiting to hear back from Cope. But the plan is for Marquise Copeland, Super Bowl champion Marquise Copeland, to join us on the BBP tomorrow night.
Because if not, who knows what the hell we're going to talk about.
We'll find something. We always find something. Look, you put the 3 of us together and just tell us to talk. We'll talk.
That reminds me, I need to post the
questions, the mailbag.
The mailbag.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else to get to tonight. Do you?
No. I mean, 15 minutes. I could ask you what you were looking forward to with spring football, but I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about this weekend.
Yeah, the same. I mean, the same stuff. We got a base of what we wanted to see. The first 4 practices. Now the pads are fully beyond. We'll get to see how many guys had way too much fun on spring break as they're cramping up Tuesday morning. And we'll see what happens on the basketball front. Conversations are ongoing in terms of what the roster is going to look like. Don't have those answers yet. We're anxiously awaiting to see what they are.
Yep.
So that'll wrap it up for tonight. He's Aaron Smith. I'm Chad Brendel. Galactic Fried Chicken is the sponsor. Bearcat Journal is the home. It's the nightcap. We'll see you tomorrow.
See ya!